I've written a book called The Paper Garden. An artist begins her life's work at 72. It's both the biography of an extraordinary 18th century gentlewoman and a meditation on late life creativity. The woman's name is Mrs. Delany. She was born in 1700, died in 1788, and she invented, at the age of 72, the art of cut paper botanical collage. I'm a 21st century woman, and I'm posing the question, how did this 18th century woman up and invent a new art form at an advanced age? I am not a visual artist, but having written about Mrs. Delany, I'm intrigued to make a tribute to her, just to see if I can't cut out, again in my 21st century short attention span way, with a minimal number of tools, can I cut out a flower that makes a tribute to her noticing. I went out to my balcony garden and I cut it, and I've been looking at it. Now, if Mrs. Delany were going to do this pelargonium, which is just a common ivy geranium, she would have done the whole thing with all of the leaves and the stems, etc. But since I'm doing the shortcut 21st century version, I'm just going to, I've got one flower, one leaf, and I've started off, and I've gotten the simplest, I've gone and gotten the simplest kinds of paper. I just have a pack of 100 origami sheets of various colors, which is like right here, okay? So that you've got lots of choices, and a pack of origami sheets that are of tissue paper, like this. So I picked a piece of pink paper, okay, but this is oranger than that pink. So I put the orange tissue paper on it, I glued it, and I've gotten a color that's pretty close. I started to cut them out. I'm just gonna get this little teeny tiny bit and put it on here. And Mrs. Delany sometimes would cut a flower, it could be 200 pieces of paper. Mine, of course, is much, many fewer pieces. Of course, there were no colored papers. Here we are using these colored papers. There were no colored papers in Mrs. Delany's day. She painted them all. I'm looking at these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I'm going to make a little bit of a star shape with my nail scissors. 1, okay, 2, here, to have our inspiration burst forth. So there's just starting to get a little shadow in there. We're having begun such an enormous project at an advanced age, and not quite finished her goal, but completed a vision. A goal is not the same as a vision. Much nicer, much richer, much more human to complete a vision than a goal. If Mrs. Delany's life has a message, even for a 26-year-old, it's that our life's work is never finished, and it requires creativity till the day we die. All of us, whether we're 18 or 108, feel that there's something we should have started and we haven't started it yet. But her life shows us that some things just take living long enough to do.